Well, welcome back to the channel. So set up camp just to make sure that the lions doesn't surprise you. And you've got the fire in front. But he was roaring the whole night through. He was roaring, coming closer, going further away. Yeah. Following morning, we try to spot them. We were unlucky, we didn't see a lot there. We actually only managed one elephant for that day and a few bucks, but otherwise it wasn't very much an eventful. We heard about the lions sightings. Every time we arrived at the lion sighting, the lions already moved off. That afternoon we planned then to a Mokoro trip.
Mokoro, not Morocco. Morocco is a country.
Mokoro, I said, man.
Cheers!
Cheers. So wie gaan ons? Who's gonna push us? Hello.
Nice.
Hello.
To get the experience and excitement of the Mokoro trip. What a wonderful experience it is, and it's a bucket list that I think everybody should in their lifetime at least do one Mokoro trip. It is an experience and a half to hear what the guides is telling you, what the guides is seeing you, showing you. Little frogs that I didn't even see until we basically were on top of them. But the experience in itself, we didn't see much animals, but the experience in itself was great. I would recommend it to anybody.
Painted red frog.
Kan ons 'n foto van julle neem? Maak asof julle dit geniet. Kom nou, Chris, waar is jou manoeuvres? Okay, daar's 'n video. So.
But on our way to the Mokoro trip, I started seeing that I've got some sort of battery alternator problems, because the alternator lights were coming on telling me that the battery is not charging. Now, driving these late cars and so on, we know if there is no charging of the batteries, your computers need all batteries, your windows will not open. So the start of problems that I'm expecting to experience there. Coming back from the Mokoro trip, we decided to see if there was any mechanical help from the main reception area. So we drove there, but now it was brakes screaming, it was the alternator bearings that was screaming, the alternator lights is on, so I knew I'm just driving on battery power. Arriving at reception, unfortunately there was no mechanical help at that particular point in time, and as we want to drive off back to our camping area, the car died. Yeah, well, this is One of the implications of driving through a lot of water, alternator bearings or alternator packed up, and main battery is not charging, so the vehicle will run up to here, and there's no power in a car, neither to start, neither to run the main computer that controls the whole car. So we're standing in Khwai, and we will make a plan from here onwards, but this is part of overlanding into Africa.
But luckily, we got stuck here by the reception area of Mogoto. But this is how our surroundings look like.
And the Lions is not too far away.
The Lions is not too far away. This is how the car looks like. And yeah, part of Africa, or like they say, welcome to Africa.
Because of the battery is being dead. It was at 8.4, 8.5 volts at that stage. Then I knew we were in some sort of a trouble unless we can come up with a better solution. So realizing that lithium batteries keep their voltage and charging a lot longer than your charging battery, so we decided to replace the starting battery with the lithium. Gone through all the motions on there. We luckily were able to start because it was still 95% availability in the lithiums. So we managed to start the Prado, and we drove off back to our campsite. At our campsite, we need to plan for the following day, because from Mogoto, where we were staying, till Maun was 150 kilometers. And we need to be certain that without an alternator, without brakes, we will be able to make Maun, so that we can see what mechanical help and fixes we can do in Maun. So that night we charged all batteries. Luckily Ian has got a huge inverter, so we managed to charge all batteries 100% and making sure everything is running. But we had to kill all the electrical appliances in the Prado, so we know no aircon, we can't open and close windows all the time. We've moved all the fridge and freezer stuff that was in the back of the Prado back into the trailer, and only the trailer fridge freezer was working. So we switched everything off in the Prado except for the fact that this the main computer can run. So that following morning we reached up quite early, quite at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we drove out, and long and behold, on our way, we haven't reached Mababe yet there. Lions right next to the transfer road. Eventually we counted about 20 of them, from big male, females to very small ones that were part of that group. So we stayed there quite a while, but we knew that we can't stay there for long. I can't sleep.
It's maybe like things.
Yeah,
Sien sy.
yeah.
Hulle het hom gesien, hulle kon eers nie verby.
Dis net 5 uur hierdie hoor.
En daar is nog 3 dae.
O, daar kom nog. En is die jong mannetjie daarby?
Dis awesome.
Then we moved on, we drove another 60 odd kilometers, and again a road full of buffaloes. There was close to 50, 100 buffaloes probably in the road. We could see that they were still sleeping, so nobody sort of disturbed them during the night or early mornings. But we forgot to do any footage of them there. Only by the time we left them, we only realized that we haven't taken any footage of them.
Ja, met hom op die rug gebyt. Ja.
But we still enjoy the ride. Everything was going fine. The alternator now and then sort of kicked in, put a bit of extra charge back into the batteries, but then died again there. So as we go slower, we could see there was no alternator charging, but we couldn't drive fast. I mean, the maximum speed that we could do was really run about 30 kilometers an hour, not because of anything else, but because of the water crossings that we had to do. We still had to do many water crossings on that road, and again, not all the escape routes were possible. Just to check up again on this Mount Mababi road. It's not too bad. There are a few paddles and few mud paths that you have to get through. Our alternator is holding. It's holding its power in the battery. So the major concern that we had at Magoto is sort of is okay. I think the bearings, because of all this water and mud, the bearings is busy going on the alternator, but it charges now and then. The battery that we've put in there, we just put a lithium in there just to keep us, if there's no power coming from the alternator, so that we can last. But so far so good. The battery, we check them, it's basically still 100% full. Now and then we do get some amps through into the battery, so that's fine. The back brake pad, so on there, that is a bit of a thing at this point in time as well there, because we had to drive this morning 70 kilometers with it screaming, but luckily Midas told us that they've got stock on brake pads, rear brake pads for us. So if we early enough in Maun, we will get some brake pads, and tonight we're going to exchange brake pads at the campsite. So, but otherwise, a very special morning. We saw close to 20 lions first thing this morning. We saw a huge herd of buffalo, but the cameras wasn't close enough. And then the wild dogs are obviously as well, some elephants, but the wild dogs and the lions were top at this point in time. The road is not that bad. We're cruising along around about 40 kilometers an hour, except where the mud puddles and the water is, but everything is holding together. The Invader is doing great behind us, exceptionally well. Everything is still intact, no issues from the Invader so far. So yeah, we'll chat again as soon as we're in the campsite tonight. Us taking that line, one or two surprises again there, where there was big holes, water through the bonnet or over the bonnet, but we managed to get through. After 64 kilometers and so on there, obviously the alternator completely gave up, so there was no bit of charging that was going back into the battery. But we knew we were about 100 kilometers still away from Maun, so we kept going. So we kept going right through to Maun, straight to the Toyota dealership in Maun. so impressed with Halfway Toyota and Gabi here in Mahun. They are fixing our Prado with all the issues that we've got on the vehicle, so we can go home tomorrow. Well, there was two alternatives. One, well, because it looks like the clutch has seized, so it could not drive the main alternator, or see if we can get a new replacement alternator, because Toyota didn't have stock of the alternators. So for them to order an alternator from South Africa can take anything from 5 to 7 office working days. So that was not an alternative, because we're on our way back. We had 2 days to get back home. So they helped us, the main mechanic helped us and so on, and they tried to find an alternator. So we've gone through all the shops, the little shops in Mahun. Eventually we found a Bosch shop with a Bosch alternator that will fit the Prado. Right, sorting out that, we had to go and draw some cash, because your tap and go cards doesn't work in all the small shops on there. So we had to go and make sure that we draw enough cash. After that, we purchased the alternator, inspected it there. It's going to work perfectly. It doesn't have a clutch, but it will work perfectly for the Prado. So from there, now it is to get to Midas and see if they've got brake pads for the Prado, because that's the next thing. Yes, they had brake pads. We confirmed that the brake pads was the right ones on there, but they didn't have discs, because the disc was completely worn down as well. But after discussions on there, we realized that we can put the brake pads on at the back, but obviously you don't want to use them, that they won't last for a long time, because the back pads or the back discs was completely grinded down. When they replaced the brake pads eventually, we could see that the metal discs, the one side on the outside was literally 2 millimeters thick, from a 4, 5, 6, 7 millimeters original thickness. But we decided to put the pads on there, at least drive back home, come back safely home. Then we will see if we can get discs or pads in South Africa, replace them ourselves. That fitted. There I must give a big compliment to Toyota, Halfway Toyota Ngami in Mahun. They kept Toyota offices open until our vehicle was in a position that we can drive back home, and they made sure that everything was working. They tested everything again. They showed us everything what they've done. A big shout out to them. All the mechanics were still in the workshop, all the service advisors were still in the office, and they stayed with us, give us coffee and make us comfortable, and made sure that we got service from them there. So a huge high shout out and a big recommendation to them. I will always use them, and I recommend them on our trips going forward. From there, that night we arrived closely 8:30 that night at Sitatunga. Oh, good way, go away bird. That night we slept at Sitatunga, but it was basically just literally pitch the tent up, go to bed. Following morning, back on the road, because to drive from Mahun to our home is literally about 1,100 kilometers. So we knew we had 2 long days on the road. So we started off with Mahun, driving back Kamarino. We had to arrive at Kamarino, and we knew that was about 600 kilometers. So early morning, going through the road, it's all tar, everything went well, all the foot and mouth gates and so on there was friendly, helped us through. We didn't have any issues with them. We arrived around about 5 o'clock at night at Kamarino. There was space for us there, booked in that night. We had a early night as well there, whereby we just had a quick braai, and then went to bed. During that night, a whole herd of kurus visited us. They caused chaos in that campsite. They opened the dustbins, pulled out the plastic bags and bottles and so on there. So they kept us awake for at least an hour during that night. The following morning, it looked like somebody went through that camp and dig up all the sand with their paws and their marks that they, and we obviously walked around, collected all the bottles and plastic bags and so on and put them back into the dustbins. But we also went early on the road back to South Africa. So we decided to take the normal route from Kamarino, Pailapi, and then we tried to see exactly what the road conditions is towards Martinsdrift. Full of potholes. I will not recommend that route because there's too many trucks. I would rather go again back to Mailapi and then back from there towards Stockport. So we drove to where Martinsdrift is there. We already get the line of trucks 9 kilometers from the border. So we decided to turn back. Ian decided that they will go through. So we turned back, we went to Stockport, went back through Stockport, and then drove from there all the way back home. Arrived safely, again around about 5 o'clock, half past 5 o'clock here at home. And then it was the uncomfortable thing of unpacking, get everything out of the trailers and so on there, getting everything out of the fridges, store them. But it was an early night again for us. But we arrived safely at home there, and hope we've learned a lot on this particular trip and we can share it with everyone looking at this video. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.